Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast coming up next. We talk about the possible injury of Seth freaking Rollins, and we discuss the retirement of John Cena and the retirement of AJ Styles, the significance behind both. We discuss that so much more coming up next.
Following podcast scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, they are the Internet Podcast.
We back. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell for more content. Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast. It's your boys, the podcast champs of the world. The insightful S. Scott Bars Wrestling Media. And you see the man to the right of me. Salute! Darkwing Dynamic Dub. Hey, man.
Hi.
Hey, man. Like, it's so much to talk about, man. Like, so much to talk about. So, had the opportunity to catch Monday Morning Raw. This is Monday Night Raw, Monday Morning Raw, because they're in Australia.
Some of us actually had to work today.
Yeah, because, homie was off. So I had to work. So, you know what I'm saying? Got me some coffee, some breakfast. You know what I mean? Sat around with the kids, watched Monday Morning Raw. So let's start off with this. So I seen something interesting after Raw went off the air. We'll get into other stuff, but seen something interesting. So it seems like the Visionary could be injured. As you see right here, this was posted by the Wrestling Winners on X. And a fan taking a picture with Seth Rollins. And he's in a sling. Very, very, very interesting. Very interesting. So, what's your thoughts on that, bro?
He didn't look too happy to take that picture.
He damn sure didn't. He was like,
where that swear jar at? Pull out that swear jar.
Yeah. The swear jar, right? Right here. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't look too happy taking that picture. But here's my question: if he didn't want to take the picture, why not just say, "No, I'm good. Man, I'll get you next time." So I understand they're in Australia and whatnot, but I mean, you're in a sling. They always talk about keeping kayfabe alive. At what point do you just be like, "Nah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Sorry."
I agree with you, man. I don't know. I don't know what has been going on as of late with this man. It seems like he just can't dodge injuries. It just seems like every time you turn around, he's always hurt. But I understand, with his pedigree of wrestling, he's a high impact type of wrestler. I think it might be time for him to, maybe kind of slowly decline from the aerial assaults that he might do and start to focus on some submissions, ground and pound type of stuff, grappling. I think it might be time for him to do that because you just came back from an injury, not the fake injury now, because we know he had faked the injury and he swerved everybody. So I ain't talking about that. But you just came back from an injury before that. And, and you got back into your groove. You took you a minute, then you end up getting the title. Now you could quite possibly be in a sling and be injured. I don't really know what to believe at this point because he's such a master at manipulating the fans and making people think something and it really isn't that. So I don't know what to believe, but I mean, if this is really true, then it kind of explains this. Then if this is really true, it kind of explains this, and this is what the scene was after Monday Night Raw went off the air. My man was laid out by the Vision, so the Vision took out the Visionary. So I mean, what else? What else can I really say, man? It kind of explains that. What you think?
So does that kind of messes up that picture I sent you a couple days ago of what people were thinking was going to happen at Survivor Series, where it was going to be the Vision plus Brock Lesnar and Austin Theory versus the Bloodline plus CM Punk and it was supposed to be CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and either LA Knight or Jimmy Uso versus the Vision plus Brock Lesnar and Austin Theory. So that messes that up. So now I actually saw another one that had Paul Heyman's Vision versus I wouldn't believe it. And I would have to see it to believe it. But it had CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and I believe either LA Knight or Jimmy Uso going against Paul Heyman's group that includes the Bronze, Brock Lesnar, and I believe Austin Theory. Like I don't know about that because if you think about the feud that CM Punk and Roman Reigns and LA Knight and Seth Rollins have all had within this past year alone. Mm-hmm. Oh, that reminds me. The other person on Paul Heyman's team was Drew McIntyre. Mm-hmm. And then you had Jimmy or LA Knight to it. But yeah, it would have to make sense for it to work, right? Because all 4 or 5 of these guys have been feuding with each other at some point over the past year. So it would have to make sense as to why you would bring CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, LA Knight, Jey Uso all together. It would have to make sense. And right now, I don't see it making sense.
You know what? It's funny you say this because I also seen a posting. Now, it wasn't a picture. It was a posting. And there's been a few people out there that seem to think that the new leader of the Vision is Brock Lesnar. With Paul Heyman being the insightful one or wherever you want to call him. There's a lot of people out there that's been posting that and saying that. So
I actually found the video or the picture.
Oh, okay.
I actually found it. And it wasn't Drew McIntyre. I'll read it off to you from the top. So for pretty much the babyface team is Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and LA Knight versus Austin Theory, Braun Breaker, Brock Lesnar, Bronson Reed, and this one definitely would not make sense to me. But Obafemi.
Obafemi? On the baby
that
face?
Would definitely on the heel side with Brock Lesnar and the Bronze and Austin Theory. It wouldn't make sense to me because he hasn't been part of any of it. I would say if you take him off and add Drew McIntyre, that would make more sense.
That's crazy. I never heard of that. Oba?
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you.
Wow, that
I
I
don't see it happening because Obafemi wouldn't make sense at any part of this, but
yeah, it definitely would make sense because I mean, right now at NXT they've been promoting Obafemi as a baby face. Like he hasn't even he hasn't done no heelish things in the past like few months. So
it's kind of hard to do that especially when you just lost your belt, and then
exactly.
they're promoting him to actually stay on NXT. They still have more work they want to do with him on NXT, so it doesn't make sense. But if you add in Drew McIntyre, okay, I can see that part kind of making sense. But it's the babyface side that just wouldn't make sense to me.
So
They
wait a
would have to
minute.
tell they would have to tell a great story for that to make sense.
So wait a minute. So you're saying that they
I just
want.
sent it to you.
Yeah, I see it. I see. I'm gonna pull it up right now. So you're saying that they want to keep Oba in NXT?
Oh, you haven't seen that?
No.
Yeah, they still have plans for Oba in NXT.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. But okay, so this is the picture right here. Wow, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Oba Femi to be part of this. I mean, I really can't see it. And you know what? I don't have a problem with it, but I just can't see it because how would Oba fit into the equation of the vision? You know what I'm
It
saying?
doesn't.
Like, how would he fit into the equation? Now, mind you, if you want to talk about future champions, then okay, I see what you're saying, but you haven't even built a story around Oba. He doesn't have no connection to what is going on. He don't have no connection. At least Austin Theory and Brock Lesnar have a connection to what these guys are doing. Brock Lesnar having a connection to Paul Heyman. Austin Theory having a connection to not only Seth but Paul Heyman as well. Because if you guys paid attention, when Austin Theory was on the Indies and he was wrestling for Evolve, Paul Heyman actually made an appearance and was given the green light to Austin Theory before he even came to WWE. There's a video out there of him doing that. If I find a video, I'll show it to you guys. But my point is, everybody has a connection to this whole situation except Uber. So it doesn't, it really wouldn't make any sense. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I really don't mind it. But you know what I'm saying? How would that even
It,
fit?
it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Not Obafemi. Now, like I said before, if you add in Drew McIntyre instead of Obafemi, okay, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
But not Obafemi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you 110%. 110% on that. It's just weird, you know. I won't frown upon it though because it is time for him to be on the main roster, and it is time for him to be in the spotlight, and it is time for him to like get a main event push right away. He's one of those guys that you don't waste any time. You give him a main event push right away. Even if you don't put the title on him right away, you at least have him on camera right away. So he is one of those guys that you do that. I don't think they should keep him in NXT. He's done enough in NXT. He needs to move on. There's plenty of people in NXT they can build off of. They don't need him anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, for that part, I hope it's true. As far as the whole vision thing, I don't know yet. Let's just see. You know, let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens, man. And you know, we just go from there. But
But as far as Seth Rollins being injured, and go
mhm,
back to that real quick,
mhm,
bro's injury prone. I think like you said, it might be time to start to settle this down some, like start taking a step back, kind of like Roman Reigns is doing. I mean, Roman Reigns, like, yeah, he's doing movies and stuff, but I think he's smart about it. He shows up, does what he needs to do, and he's out. You might not see him for the next month. You know, he's taking all that wear and tear off his body, especially with him having leukemia not once but twice. You know, him not wrestling all the time, you know, takes a bunch of stress off his body. I think it's about time that Seth should think about probably doing the same thing because he stays injured.
A lot.
He stays injured. So it's time. And plus, it's already time. It's time for them to start pushing new stars. So what better way to start pushing new stars? Okay, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Okay, we got two there, right? Who is some other faces that we could see come up and start making some noise while they slowly start working out this older crew? I mean, you got Carmelo Hayes. Looks like they might actually try to start doing something with him by him beating the Miz, hopefully. And then you still got what we were just talking about. We got Obafemi. They're going to have to do something with Trick Williams soon. He can't stay down in NXT for too much longer. You know, they're definitely going to have to do something with Javon Evans. That dude is a star in the waiting.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if you finished that TNA match, but when you do, that dude is a star in the making. And it's about time for him to move up. And then you still got one of my favorite heels in the game right now, Ethan Page. You still got him. You still got Ricky Starks, the Saints, whatever he wants to call himself. You still got him, who's the champion right now. There's so many people that they could move up to the main roster and start pushing some of these older people out to start creating these new stars. That's why these guys keep getting injured. Guys like Seth Rollins keep getting injured because they're putting so much emphasis on them and not enough emphasis on the younger crew. What is going on with Damian Priest right now? He is getting his butt handed to him by Aleister Black. I understand that he's in his 40s, but he doesn't seem to have the same wear and tear on his body like a Seth Rollins does. Move him back over to Raw. You start, I don't know. I've said it. You start pushing some of these older guys out. CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, hell, even Cody Rhodes, and you start bringing in some new talent to freshen the place up a little bit, or else this kind of stuff is going to continue to happen. You're going to continue seeing Seth Rollins in a sling or a leg brace, and then you got Roman Reigns. You know, he's already coming and going as he pleases, so that's going to continue to happen, and we're not getting anything built for the future while these guys are taking their hiatus. I don't get it.
No, you're absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. You know what? You know what it is with WWE, man? WWE is so used to like relying on their older crew to bail them out of situations that they got all this young, inspiring talent. They don't know what to do with them. You know, like you brought Javon Evans up to the main roster, or you kind of brought him up to the main roster because he's doing a few main roster things, but you still got him working on SmackDown. I don't think there's any point. I mean, there's any point to having him in NXT and having him on SmackDown. Just leave him on SmackDown because I'm hearing that's what y'all plan on doing anyway, is having him stay on SmackDown. So just have him stay on SmackDown. I mean, like, you guys have him wrestling these matches, these 5-star matches, and he's putting on a clinic, but you're not having him win no title. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you expect to elevate new stars? You put him in these pressure situations, he's flourishing, but then you're not having him win any titles. You put him in these big matches, he's not winning the big matches. He's winning the other matches, but he's like this close to winning the big one. You know what I'm saying? Take a chance. Take a chance. Stop fumbling and just take the chance. You know what I mean? He's obviously ready. Give him the opportunity to do it. Like I said, getting back to Seth's injury, you know what I mean? Like I don't know what to believe, you know? I don't know what to believe. But what I do know is that something is brewing up behind the scenes. They turned against him. They turned against him. Y'all seen the picture. They turned against him. Like, you know, it's I don't know if it has something to do with his arm being in the sling. We don't know if it has something to do with this. We no one knows, you know. At this point, like we said, you know, it's we don't know what to believe at this point, you know, but what we do know is that something is brewing. Seeing Brock Lesnar being the new leader of the division, that's I don't know. Brock Lesnar never led a faction before. So I don't even know if that I don't know what that would look like, him leading a faction. I don't know what that would look like. But it not for nothing, if that does happen, I'm not going front. As much as y'all mad at Brock Lesnar, I would like to see that. I just would.
Remember, before his match with John Cena, he did go up to Paul Heyman and say, "Hey, we need to talk."
Facts. He did do that too. Yep. He definitely did do that. He definitely did do that. Yeah, like, you know, he definitely did do that. He definitely did do that. Like I said, man, I know, look, we have cut no slack when it comes to WWE programming and when it comes to some of the things that they're doing on their programming. But we got to give credit when credit is due. You know what I'm saying? This whole segment, even if it was paced together last minute, was pretty interesting. That's it was pretty interesting. And the whole idea of Brock Lesnar possibly being the leader of the division, that's pretty interesting too. That kind of like gets the wheels turning. You know, I definitely would like to see it if that is a possibility. You know, what would that look like? You know, I would like to see, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just let's see. Let's open up that Pandora's box. Let's see what's going down.
Or instead of letting Brock Lesnar be the leader of the division, you let one of the Bronze be the leader of the division, and you bring somebody like an Austin Theory and Ego.
Yeah, or Ethan
All
Page.
Ego, Ethan Page. Yeah,
You know there was. You know they did say that they was thinking about making
like,
it
why
a part of
not?
the vision.
His
That
heel
would make
work,
sense.
his heel work this year has been phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
It's been phenomenal. And people might say, "Oh, blah blah blah." I don't give a damn what people say. I think his heel work in NXT this year has been phenomenal.
Nah,
Not AJ Styles phenomenal, but phenomenal.
Nah, I got you, man. I got you. It's definitely his heel work's definitely been top notch. He's been doing this thing for sure, you know. So I definitely can see that. All Ego would definitely fit into the vision. He would fit. He would definitely fit, and it would make sense too. It would make sense. But like I said, you know, with this whole situation, you never know, man. WWE, man, at times, man. You know, fans will come up with some of the coolest ideas, man. They don't listen. They don't listen. They do what they want. So, you know, I don't know what to believe at this point, you know. So I'm just interested in seeing what's gonna happen next. But let's talk about this next topic right here. Let's talk about this. So I don't know if you've seen well, you might have seen the highlights or whatever like that. But these guys right here put on a clinic. And I was so surprised because I never really seen John Cena wrestle. It was always the 5 moves of doom. You know what I'm saying? It was always the 5 moves of doom. It was never anything else but the 5 moves of doom. Then he puts on this match with AJ Styles, and it probably was one of the best matches I've seen him wrestle. Best matches, like literally, probably to me. I don't know what everybody else think, but to me, probably one of his best matches ever. You know what I'm saying? And it's mind-boggling to me because, like, this is what you should have did when he started his heel run. Like, I understood the whole thing of him, like, messing up professional wrestling. That's cool. But when it got down to, like, the tougher opponents, like, y'all should have had him do his thing. Y'all should have had him go out like that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had him starting off on fire with this whole heel thing. Then it fizzles out. Then he goes back to a face. And now we're getting, these pretty good matches. And this last one, I'm not going front. It was pretty good. But I ain't talking about the match. I want to get into the aspect of,
I would say that the Cody Rhodes match at SummerSlam was better than this one.
You
That
think
was
so?
probably. I think the way John Cena wrestled Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, not WrestleMania, SummerSlam, was probably his best match out of he's had a lot of good matches in his career, but I would say that was a pure wrestling match with him and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
No. I'm not shying over it at all. That was a good match. I have to go back and watch it again and then make the comparisons. But I definitely watched this match, glued in, and he did his numbers. He did his numbers on this, and AJ did too. They put on a clinic. But I'm not so much, wanting to talk about the match. I want to talk about the whole retirement situation. And AJ, I feel like AJ should get the same type of treatment John Cena is getting on his way out. And it's mind-boggling to me because, like, if you look at the two's wrestling pedigree, I mean, obviously AJ Styles is the better wrestler. You know what I'm saying? If you really look at it, he is the better wrestler. But as far as, like, WWE standards, he's not getting the same type of treatment on his way out. Now, I know it's still early because we're not in 2026 just yet, but we will be soon. What are they going to do with AJ Styles moving forward? Is he going to keep losing these big matches, or are we going to have him win something and build towards his retirement like we're doing with John Cena? Now, John Cena may have lost a few matches, but they're building towards something towards the end. They're building towards something. So are we going to see something like that? Are we going to see the throwback AJ Styles like we seen against Cena? Are we going to see him do some stuff in TNA before his retirement? And are we going to see, like, what are we going to see from AJ Styles? That's what I want to know. Is he going to get the same type of treatment, John Cena's getting? What are your thoughts, bro?
I think that, number one, it is too early. I think they're more focused on John Cena retiring since his is literally in a month. His retirement match is in a month. So I think they're more focused on that. I think eventually they'll put the Intercontinental title on him to make him a Grand Slam champion, because that's all he needs to be a Grand Slam champion is the Intercontinental title. So I think they'll do that with him. And then I think they'll give him a good send-off like they do, because he said 2026 is his last year. So I think they'll do right by him and give him a send-off. And he's had some good matches too. He hasn't been in WWE nowhere near as long as John Cena. John Cena was able to get pushed by the machine, whereas AJ Styles had to work up to that point. But when he got up to WWE, hey, Vince strapped a rocket strap to him. You know what I'm saying? And he let him beat John Cena couple times, a few times. He beat the likes of Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins and all those guys. So he was pushed to the moon. You know, he won tag gold. He's won the U.S. title. You know, the whole the face that runs the place. You know what I'm saying? That was I think that was John Cena, and then his was the house that AJ Styles built. So I think he'll get the same send off. I think Triple H and Nick Khan are smart enough to give him the same send off. I mean, you heard what they let them. What I saw the video. You heard what they let Alicia Taylor say when they introducing AJ Styles. So they know the history of AJ Styles. So I think once they're done with the whole John Cena retirement tour, I think they'll be more focused on, okay, we have another one that's coming up right around the corner. What can we do to get this ball rolling for him? At least I hope so. I just hope that they do give him the Intercontinental title, let him be the Grand Slam champion. And then whatever happens after that happens. But I think he's earned the right to be a Grand Slam champion.
Yes, I do believe he has. He's earned the right to be a Grand Slam champion. He should be a Grand Slam champion. I don't know why it's taking so long for him to be a Grand Slam champion, but this is the opportunity to do it. Like, yeah, this is definitely the opportunity for them to do it. And I would definitely like to see it. You know? But yeah, I mean, without a shot of a doubt, like he's been like on point for years, and he's been consistent, and he hasn't really gotten hurt that much. I mean, he gotten hurt, you know, a few months recently, but I mean, if you really look at his whole catalog, you know, as far as professional wrestling in WWE, he hasn't really gotten hurt that much. I mean, maybe once, twice in his whole WWE career, maybe 3 times, maybe, you know, but other than that, you know, 3 times possibly in a 10-year WWE career, that's not bad. That's not bad. So, I guess we'll just have to see what happens moving forward, you know.
Yeah, as long as they let him win that Intercontinental title, man, I think everything else will be fine. I think that's what he really wants also, is to be a Grand Slam champion. And like I said, he earned the right to be a Grand Slam champion. I did see an interesting idea that when they announced that the undisputed boss of the Bullet Club, I did see an interesting idea that they should do one where they have Finn Balor versus, Prince Devitt. I think it was shout out to Lightskin. I think it was Lightskin that said it. Prince Devitt versus AJ Styles versus the Cleaner, Kenny Omega, and I think he was Cody Rhodes. Was Cody Rhodes ever a leader?
Yes, he was.
So I think it was them 4 have a 4-way match, and the winner is the undisputed boss of the Bullet Club.
That would be fire, but that will also
shout out to Lightskin.
Yo, shout out to Lightskin Gaijin. Yeah. That would be fire, but that would mean they would have to cut all the crap that they've been doing to AEW and let bygones be bygones, which I'm hearing, you know, through the grapevine that they're trying to work something out for the near future between the both sides, but it's going to take time. You know, I did hear something like that, but it's going to take time. Look, there's no need for either side to be beefing, especially WWE. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's enough money around for everybody to eat. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like being business partners will be better than them beefing with one another, because they both have something that both promotions want. On one side, WWE has a lot of things that AEW could benefit from. On the other side, AEW has a lot of things that WWE could benefit from. You know what I'm saying? They both can work together at some point in time and really make history. I don't know when that could possibly happen, but I think it would be great to see that happen. Like who wouldn't want to see
Lovey.
who wouldn't want to see Kenny Omega versus Roman Reigns?
That is that one, and Will Ospreay versus Seth Rollins is another one that people have been calling for.
This is what I'm saying. So
The Young Bucks versus the Usos.
this is what I'm saying. And you might as well add the New Day in there because New Day and Bucks been talking back and forth online for years. So this is what I'm saying. What's the point? What at this point in time, I know it's competition, but y'all could do this. Y'all could do this. It would be dope to see that.
So the way that Light Skin Gaijin put it, once again, shout out to Light Skin. He said you do it in New Japan. You don't do it at WWE. You don't do it in AEW. You do it over in New Japan. Because we both know that neither company has a problem working with New Japan Pro Wrestling. So what better place to do it than New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Yeah, it makes perfectly good sense. They've been working in Japan. We just recently seen AJ Styles, and what was he in? Pro Wrestling Noah? He was over
Something
there.
like that. Shinsuke
Yeah.
Nakamura has been over there.
Yeah.
Omos has been over there.
Yeah, those were all, I think, except for Nakamura. I'm not 100%, but I know the other guys, they wrestled in Noah. I know Omos is a former tag team champion in Noah. So, but that doesn't even matter. What I'm saying is that would be fire because they both have connections with New Japan, and New Japan's a neutral contributor in this situation because they have worked with both parties on numerous occasions. They have exchanged wrestlers as far as like NXT to New Japan and New Japan to NXT or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? They have done that already. So I think it would be a good idea for them to do that, but
What a better place to do it. You know what? That match, even though AJ Styles is older, Kenny Omega is older, Prince Devitt or Finn Balor, he's older. You know, Cody Rhodes is getting older. I get these guys are getting older, but I promise you, that match would feed families. And what a better way for AJ Styles to go out in a four-way match to see who is the undisputed leader of the Bullet Club.
yeah.
What a better way for him to go out.
Mm-hmm. I agree, man. I agree that would be fire if they were to do something like that. That would be fire. That would be fire.
And to your point, WWE. This is not in the late to mid to late 90s where you feel like that you just have to absolutely crush the competition. It's not like that. Because number one, if that was the case, AEW will be getting ready to put y'all under. They're pretty much what AEW doing is right now is the equivalent to WWF coming back with Stone Cold and DX and places like people like that, while the WWE is working with the NWO over and over and over again. You get where I'm going with that? Yeah. All the nostalgia acts is what the NWO was for WCW. Mm-hmm. Hangman Adam Page is their version of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Mm-hmm. You got the Death Riders, mm-hmm. their version of D-Generation X. I'm just saying. So, but there's no reason to have that amount of animosity towards each other. It's like you said, everybody can eat. This is 2025 going in 2026. There's enough for everybody to eat. There's no reason for it. There's no reason to not be able to work together. The amount of can you think about Kyle Fletcher versus Randy Orton?
Yeah. That would be crazy.
Right. The young stallion that everybody says reminds them of a young Randy Orton versus this year's Randy Orton. That would be crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like what Adam Page versus Drew McIntyre. That would be wild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's so much possibilities. Like, there's no reason to have to worry. You can get Triple H and Nick Khan and Tony Khan in a room. They can hash out who's going to win, who's going to lose, and so on and so forth. Just make it a good show, and everybody, I promise you, everybody goes home happy.
Yeah, and the thing about that is that I don't think AEW will have a problem with, any of this. I think WWE would, because I feel
It's
like
WWE.
because I feel like WWE is like very egotistical, and like they have to flex their muscles because they're the bigger company. So I think that will be the only issue that will probably not allow this to happen, is that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just see it. I could see it now. I could close my eyes and be like, this is what's going to happen. If I was Professor X, I use Cerebro. Hey, I can read the minds and I can see, like, this is what's going to occur. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like WWE would be more egotistical, and they would just like, oh, well, my guys have to win, but no, they don't. It's not like what you're doing with AAA or what you're doing with TNA. Like, this is an equal playing field right here. This is an equal playing field. So you guys can actually map out stories where both candidates can actually look good and strong in these matches without having to lose their mystique, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
I mean, Tony Khan is a mark. I mean, and I don't mean it. I know people say that in a bad way, but I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean it in a good way, is that he understands that what WWE brings to the table, and he understands what his company brings to the table. And I feel like he will understand that if we're going to have Hangman Page versus Drew McIntyre, they both need to look strong.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to have Kyle Fletcher versus Randy Orton, yeah, the grizzled veteran is going to do whatever he can to make sure that the young buck looks good.
Mm-hmm.
The young bucks going 2-on-2 versus the Usos. He's going to understand both of these legendary tag teams need to look strong in one way or another. Yeah, the matches are going to be good, but how can we make sure that they both look equally as strong?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I mean when I say Tony Khan is a mark. He has the understanding that these wrestlers, they all have to look strong. Not, oh, well, Drew McIntyre, he's in the WWE, so he automatically has to look strong over Adam Page. That's not true. Adam Page is the AEW World Champion, so why can't he look strong?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree with you totally. I definitely hear you 1,000%. We just gonna have to wait and see. Wait and see what happens. We're just gonna have
I know we kind of got off topic there. And we were supposed to be talking about AJ Styles and what the WWE can do to make his last year, which he has said 2026 is his last year. What can they do to make it special? And I think number one would be winning the Intercontinental title, give him that Grand Slam, and then just let things fall into place as they may be. Bring up some of his old rivals, like what can you do to get Chris Jericho back? Chris Jericho was his very first match at WrestleMania. What can we do to get Chris Jericho back in there for just one more match with AJ Styles? Mm-hmm. Things like that.
And not for nothing, Chris Jericho looks to be in phenomenal shape. Like, I seen the videos, man. My man's trying to look like the throwback version. He's trying to look like Y2J. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, it seems like he's training for something. I don't know what it is, but My man looks like the throwback version. He's starting to look like Lionheart.
He
So
trying to get that get back on Fandango.
yeah, that's funny. Yeah, hey, you know, hey, those type of things is a possibility, I believe. But you know, both parties will have to agree with one another, and WWE will have to swallow their pride. That's how I look at it, you know, because I don't see AEW having an ego with this whole situation. I see AEW like willing to work things out and do something like this, you know.
I
So
think
it's
Tony Khan has made it known before that he is willing to work with the WWE when it comes to forbidden door kind of things like that. And here's what kills me about it. Triple H is just as much of a historian as Tony Khan is. Don't you would think he lived the Monday Night Wars.
mm-hmm.
You would think that he would have a little common sense, like, okay, I've lived this before. It didn't turn out well for one company. Maybe, just maybe not right now, but sometime in the future, I can come together with Tony Khan and see if we can work something out for maybe, maybe even just a one-off Forbidden Door pay-per-view where you got WWE and AEW. There is nothing wrong. If for one, first off, WWE is going to make money. AEW is going to make money. All the wrestlers are going to make money. Imagine the merchandise these wrestlers are going to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the pay-per-view buys, whether if it's, they're going to get it through HBO Max because of AEW, or we already have subscriptions to ESPN Plus because I already had it because I watch sports as it is. Check out your boy Darkwing Dub on YouTube. Anyways, but no, so majority of us, like you said you already had the bundle package because your kids watch Disney Plus and stuff like that. So you already had the bundle. So imagine the amount of ESPN buys that they're going to get off that just by thinking of the possibility of these different like, I'm sorry, Roman Reigns and Kenny Omega would absolutely dominate the airwaves if that were to happen. Mm-hmm. That and Seth Rollins and Will Ospreay, those would be the two matches that would just absolutely set that pay-per-view off.
Yeah, I look, I 100% agree with you, man. It would look so good on paper. I let's just hope when you speak these type of things into the universe that it actually happens someday. Let's just hope.
Hell, you could even do a triple threat match between the Shield members. That alone would kill a pay-per-view. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus Jon Moxley. What?
Yeah.
We never really got closure. Just saying, we never really got closure.
No, we haven't. But yeah, moving forward, we just have to see what happens. This could all be part of AJ Styles' retirement situation, you could fit all this stuff in there, but like I said, let's just hope us speaking this into the universe, they do something right with AJ Styles. And they make something happen for him because he deserves it. He deserves that opportunity to go out in style, just like John Cena. Any closing thoughts?
Nah, man. Y'all gotta do the phenomenal one, right? You gotta do right by him in his last year, just like you did with John Cena. Just like they've done with just about every big time wrestler that has come through there. They've sent them off the right way, whether if it's The Undertaker being able to retire after getting a win over AJ Styles at WrestleMania. He got to go out on a high. Mm-hmm. So I get it. Bill Goldberg didn't, but who really liked Bill Goldberg?
I mean, they liked him as kids. He looked
as kids, but as we got older, okay. Yeah. But still, all the big time wrestlers got to go out in style. So why not let AJ Styles go out phenomenally?
Well, I mean, not for nothing. We talking about Goldberg, you know, to close things out. If we're talking about Goldberg, he did go out with a big time paycheck. That's for sure. He went out with big time paycheck. So at the end of the day,
after Gunther put him to sleep,
yeah. Yo. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's kind of true. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Gunther put him to sleep. Just saying.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for now. It's your boys, tag team podcast champions of the world. The insightful one, S. Scott Bars Wrestling Media, and the dynamic Salute Darkwing Dub. We'll be back with another one. Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast. Yeah.
Following podcast scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, they are the Internet Podcast.